Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to your weekly pick a card reading. Seamus, complete with kitty paws. He can't resist. As I said last week, I'm not set on a date that, that I'll be making these permanent, like if I'm doing them on Mondays, on Tuesdays, or on Wednesdays, or whatnot. We're still in back to school time, and it's all virtual schooling, so there's a lot going on right now with different events and just getting our groove together. So until I know better, like what our weeks look like a little bit more permanently, then I'll decide on like what day of the week I do these permanently. Until then, it's going to be when I have time and when I have access to space. We have porky little kitty here. Anyway, so if you don't know how this works, we've got 3 sets of cards here. We've got set number 1, which is represented by a little magenta whale. Set number 2, represented by a Maryland blue crab. Set number 3, represented by some cute and cuddly sharks. And I realized after I took the photo for this for the Facebook page yesterday that this is a very Maryland setup here, because all 3 of these magnets were bought somewhere in Maryland. We got 2 from Ocean City and another one from Baltimore. So maybe I got a bunch of people from Maryland on this reading today. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to get started. We're going to get started with set number 1 first. Any purring you hear in the background is my cat Seamus. He's usually here. He is obsessed when I do readings. He comes out of his little hiding spot and has to make himself known. All right, so we are going to start with set number 1. Well, I am sorry for all the smears on this. That is distracting. We got cheetah, the 3 of cups in reverse. And yes, I do put these down backwards. I know some people have commented. It's just the way I do it. King of cups and the Hierophant in reverse. I'm going to read you the blurb for the cheetah card. It says, get clear on your intention, stay focused, and move quickly to achieve your goal. All right. So, there's a lot. Okay. Sometimes, like, I get a bunch of different things at once, and my brain tends to compartmentalize it. So I have a very broad message here, but before I get into that, for a few of you, there's 2 separate messages. Some of you right now are going through a breakup, a divorce. You're discovering things. There's possibly like some cheating, infidelity, or lies, something hidden that you've discovered that's going to lead to a breakdown of like a very important relationship. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is like a very committed relationship or a marriage even. And you're heading into taking a legal step or taking a step to dissolve that, and it's something that needs to be done. For others, this is a little message for you to scale back some of the partying, scale back some of your drinking. Some of you might need a little extra help, a little extra boost to gain a control of your alcohol consumption. It could even be like recreational drugs as well. But if you're feeling that, you're feeling like you need to take a step back, you're feeling a need to detox and to like purge that out of your life, that energy is definitely here for you right now. And it's about setting that goal and really committing to that goal and deciding like what steps you need to take to reach that goal, to like get rid of some of your dependence on alcohol or even anything else that's a recreational substance. So whether the steps you take are the 12 steps or seeing a counselor, talking with a friend, getting online support, anything like that, but it's definitely something that a specific few of you need to think about. But for a lot of you, there's a big sense of independence here, as well as being very focused on your intuition. And I feel like I'm saying that to a lot of you every week. Somehow it comes out that we need to trust ourselves and trust what we've got within ourselves rather than seeking like external validation, rather than seeking, anything externally. There's a lot of independence here in this setup today. And I think some of you, as you're going forward and, making plans like for the rest of this year, even, this week, it's going to be coming from yourself. You're not going to be like seeking opinions, validations, experiences. You're not pulling any of that from other people, and that's going to be a good thing because there's some folks around you that don't have your best interest at heart. Some people around you that you really shouldn't share some of those deep ideas, some of your creative ideas. You don't really want to share it with them. So if you are planning something, you have a goal, you have a project, and if you notice that you want to share it with maybe a group of friends of yours, or even just like one person, a coworker, and you notice that there's like a little something in the back of your mind that's kind of pulling you away from doing that, and that's making you second guess yourself, listen to that. Because not everybody has that best interest in heart. I mean, your best interest at heart. And, a lot of times when you see the Three of Cups come up, there's some of that, like, bitchy sort of backstabbing, gossipy nature that's going on. But it's also people that might not support you, might not really get your vision. And sometimes it's not in a malicious way. Like, some people, they just don't get what you're trying to put out, or they just don't get what your ideas or your goals are. And they're not, like, withholding support just because they don't like it, or they don't like you, or they want to hurt you. It's just they don't understand it, and that's okay. They'll get it eventually. But you're not really responsible for proving yourself hardcore in the near future. You're gonna be, I feel that you're feeling pulled to be outside of the box right now. You're not feeling very conformist. You're kind of breaking away from things that you may have felt have been holding you back, or you haven't been able to express yourself. You're not like feeling creatively free. And it's time to like say, yeah, like I actually need to expand myself. I need to express myself. I have like these ideas. I've got these passions, this creativity, whatever it is, and you need to let it flow, but something is not working, whether it's your job or other people in your life, and it's holding you back, and you're second guessing yourself because of the other noise that's around you. So you might be feeling alone right now. You might be feeling like you don't fit in. You might be feeling like you don't fit in, but you stand out because you don't fit in, and you could be feeling like, oh my God, am I the only one that thinks this way? Am I the only one that sees things the way that I do? And those are all good things, even though sometimes it's isolating and painful. Acknowledging your uniqueness and acknowledging who you are and acknowledging those unique things that you have to offer, they're all good things. And oftentimes the people around us just don't get us, and we seem weird, or we seem out there, or quirky, or whatever other words there. And sometimes it's very just simple and benevolent from people when they don't get you, and other times people pick at you and they make fun of you and they shit talk you. So a lot of you are going to be experiencing all that, and it's about shutting out that noise and really being independent right now, and really being inwardly focused, and taking your power from your independence, and taking your power from what makes you unique, and canceling out the chatter from the external sources, and really embracing your uniqueness, what makes you creative, and the way that you approach things. You tend to approach things in a very intuitive way. You tend to approach things more emotionally, but grounded. Like, you're not like out there emotionally. You are very in touch with what you've got going on inside, but you're very grounded with it. You're focused and you're measured with it. You're stable. So use that, and use that for yourself. It's, time to take a selfish and Be you and just shut out this nonsense and be instinctual as well. And we've got this cheetah energy, and I know the blurb says about, staying focused and moving quickly, and for some of you that's true. If you have a goal, you have an idea, you want to move on it. We're not just like waiting for something to fall in our lap. We are moving. But remember, the cheetah doesn't just impulsively go. The cheetah waits for a moment, and they observe, they watch, they decide which little critter they're going to go eat, and they quietly creep up on them until they're ready to go zoom out and chase them down and grab them, so you want like that energy. So it's not impulsive. You're being measured, you're being calm, you're being emotionally stable, you're being, you're trusting your instincts, and you're making sure your vision is clear before you go ahead and get what you want, before you make your decision, before you continue to move forward, whatever it is that you're going for this week. But a lot of independent energy, a lot of noise canceling. And then for others, for those of you who are dealing with, breakdowns of relationships, or dealing with even getting over some substances, stick with it. Stay true to yourself. Be selfish a little bit and just take care of yourself. Take care of your heart. Take care of your needs. Take care of your body, and do what you need to do to get yourself healthy, whether it's physically healthy or emotionally healthy, even spiritually healthy. Take care of you. All right. All right. We're going to get on to set number 2. Oh, these streaks are really bothering me. All right, set number 2 is our little blue crab. For those who are visual, we have Condor, one of my favorites. I love vultures. 8 of Swords. Good, good. We need to see some big pictures here. 2 of Pentacles. Yep. And the Chariot. Yes, okay. All right, let me read you that Condor blurb. It says, you are too enmeshed in this situation, so step back and see the bigger picture before making any decisions or taking action. Yeah, nice. This is about vision. This is about seeing things. This is about like not closing yourself off. Like you're not closing your eyes off to the world and what's going on around you. You are not closing your third eye off to the world and what's going on. We are very much dealing with staying focused and being aware and not shutting things out. With the 8 of Swords, oftentimes with the 8 of Swords, what you're finding is like, you see this person is standing in like this cage of swords, tied up kind of loosely, got a blindfold. She's feeling caged in. She's feeling stuck. She's feeling like she can't move, right? But she's not. She's not actually surrounded, and the ropes around her are kind of loose. She can get out of it if she wants to. But and swords are representing your mental energy, everything that's going on in your head, your intelligence, your communication. And oftentimes with the 8 of Swords, we're stuck because of what we tell ourselves. There's a lot of self-doubt here, very heavy self-doubt. And we're unable to see the big picture. We're unable to focus on the future. And we're unable to really look forward to our goals and to move forward towards them because we're kind of mentally stuck. And we're, telling ourselves, well, if I take this step, it's not going to work, or I'm afraid to take this step because what if I step in a puddle? What if it doesn't work out? What if, somebody tells me that I can't do it and I really admire their opinions and I'm worried about what they think of me? It's all of those like negative thoughts and the self-doubt cycle that goes on in your mind and the fears and anxieties that are attached to that. And like I always say, it's not a terrible thing. I mean, there's reasons that we feel like this. There's reason that those doubts happen to us. There's reasons why they take up space in our minds. It's not because you woke up one day and were like, oh, I just feel like, doubting myself and not believing in myself. You're not You don't make that decision consciously. Oftentimes it comes because people have been nagging us. People have told us that we suck. People have told us that they don't believe in us. People, they're projecting their insecurities onto us, and for a lot of us, we have experiences where we did try and fail, and something didn't work out. So you have reasons to have those anxieties. You have reasons to have that fear, and that's all normal and it's all okay. You're not wrong for that. You're not bad for doubting yourself. It's a very human thing, but we want to move on from it. Right? And we don't want this holding you back from this. This chariot wants to go forward. It wants to move you closer to your goals. It wants to move you someplace else better, right? But you can't move forward if you are not seeing that big picture, if you are focused so inwardly and worried so much, and then you're getting, sort of imbalanced. You're not bringing that balance structure into your life right now, because you're stuck here. So it's all about getting out of that mental state. And sometimes you've got to talk yourself out of it. You've got to acknowledge that you have these fears. You've got to acknowledge your insecurities. And for some people, it works to say, okay, I'm being anxious. I recognize that this is anxiety. I recognize that this is my brain lying to me. And for some people, that works. That's awesome. Others might need help getting that out. You might need to go talk to a therapist, go talk to a counselor, a teacher, anybody that's able to provide you with some sort of like support and that can help you sort of see things a little bit more objectively. That's always helpful. For other people, it's about writing things out and writing down your plans, writing down your goals, and writing down what your fears are. And seeing it on paper or seeing it, typed out can help you, figure out where those insecurities come from. Maybe you're like, I'm afraid to apply for this new job. And the reason I'm afraid is because maybe you're afraid because your resume isn't that great, or maybe you're afraid because you've applied for a job like that before and you didn't get it. But you might not consciously think about it. So you're applying for this new job and it's something that you're interested in, obviously something that you want to do. That's why you're applying. And you're noticing like this sense of trepidation, you're noticing this anxiety, and maybe you're not like really connecting with why. So if you write it out, type it out, speak it out to somebody else, sometimes, it'll bring it out like, oh yeah, the reason that I'm afraid is because like 6 years ago, I applied for something very similar and I didn't get it. Or 10 years ago, I worked in a similar field and I worked with total assholes who put me down all the time. So you're acknowledging where that fear is coming from. You're acknowledging why you have it. And when you do that, you start taking away some of its power. It might not go away right away. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfectly zen and balanced like this little Two of Pentacles all the time. You don't have to be that all the time. We're humans. We're giving a million emotions for a reason. But it's acknowledging where that comes from, and it's understanding where that comes from so that you can start to do the work to get rid of those fears and self-doubts, or to master them, or to learn how to rise above them. And then from there, you're able to see things more clearly. You're able to see the landscape out ahead of you. You're able to see everything that's out ahead of you, and you're clear and you're focused on it, and you're able to balance things out, because when you're here, you're not able to move forward and you're not able to see things, and then you're imbalanced. This wants you to have like a lot of balance in your life, your work, the balance of your work life and your home life, the work balance of work and play, that wants to happen, but it can't while you're stuck in here. So again, it's just getting out of this place so that this can happen and this balance can happen, so however you need to work on that, do it. You're safe to do it. You're supported to do it. And you're 100% worth getting out of that headspace. Okay. So that is it for this week for set number 2. We are moving on to set number 3. And I'm going to mention one more time that all these little streaks are just bugging the crap out of me. I guess it did not agree with the little spray. Cat hair. right, so we've got walrus, another chariot, King of Pentacles, nice, and the Hanged Man. Yeah, so interesting. So I've got some forward motion going on here, right, with the chariot. And the last card had the chariot as well, but there's a difference in these two chariots. The chariot is forward moving energy. It's going towards something. It's going for your goals. You know, that's what I'm getting from it here. But I want to show you the difference between set number 2 had this chariot, and then we have this one. I'm going to move it just because of the glare. This one's already in motion. This one's getting ready to go, right? So you're not moving yet, and before you move towards your goals, you're going to take time to think about things. You know, we are not rushing and we are not being impulsive. And I'm going to read you the blurb for walrus, and it says, remain vigilant about the current situation, pay attention to signs and omens, and let them dictate your choices. So I'm not going to go like so literal with that that interpretation, but I do believe it's good to be vigilant and good to pay attention to signs, you know, and omens, and that means something different for everybody. If you look at me, I often find signs in animals and in the natural world. Sometimes I also find it through songs, but most of the time I receive signs through animals. So you may be thinking of something and you notice that you're always seeing crows, or you're always seeing blue jays, and they're always really loud outside your house. So take a little Google and just look up at blue jay spirit animal or cat spirit animal, you know, whatever you're seeing a lot, Google it, because oftentimes you'll see that there is a connection there and that there's a message there for you. For others, the signs that you're seeing are actual signs. You know, you're riding down the road and someone's got a long sign that says, you know, something quirky, or a business has like a message up on their signs. You know, sometimes churches have them or schools have them, and it's like a quote that just like hits you like, oh my God, you know, pay attention to that, because, you know, a lot of times those things aren't a coincidence. You know, in my belief system, it's not really a coincidence. Like for me, when I see certain animals, it's not a coincidence. It usually is coming exactly when I need it. Like for instance, one of my cats just passed away this Tuesday, and I was sitting outside thinking of him, and I just said out loud I was like, I hope, you know, my mom is up there in heaven with him, holding him. And as I say that, I get blue jays, which are a sign from my mom, and a butterfly going right past me. And then I had an experience with a dragonfly. Like I just got like boom, 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 like all of these little signs. It's not coincidental. So pay attention to things around you, but taking it out of like that new age sense of looking at signs and omens, you know, being vigilant. So, you know, we're getting ready to go somewhere. We're getting ready to go on a journey. You are getting ready to embark on a journey. So new job, new career, a health journey, you know, figuring out a treatment or dedicating yourself to something new regarding your health, even a journey as far as your education, a new relationship, anything like that. You're getting ready to step into it. You're getting ready to ride off towards it, but not yet. You know, you want to make sure you've got the right perspective before you go. And that's what I mean by the difference between these two chariots. The folks in the last reading, you know, they were more ready to go. They're ready to move on a little bit more. You are getting ready to start up your motorcycle. You know, the headlights on, you're almost ready to go, but before you go, you want to remain vigilant. And you want to just check with your perspective and check the things around you and notice everything around you before you go off, because you don't want to be focused so, like, have such a singular focus that you're not paying attention to the road ahead of you. Because if you don't pay attention to the road ahead of you, if you don't pay attention to what's going on around you, as you're riding, you could crash, you could fall. You could get lost. You could end up on a detour and it takes you longer. You can get stuck in traffic because you weren't noticing that there was something going on up ahead. So you really want to be, eyes wide open, mind wide open, and just very, as this says, very vigilant. There's also, a sense of being practical and sure-footed and sure about what you're about to do. This isn't impulsive energy. We are not just zooming out at all. This isn't impulsive at all. We are being practical and we are taking time. So you want to, it's going forward, but it's slower. Okay. And you just want to make sure everything is in place. You want to make sure you're packed up. You've got, everything. I was trying to think of like some sort of metaphor for like making sure your motorcycle is tuned up, but I don't know anything about motorcycles, so I don't know like all the parts. But you just want to make sure things are tuned up and ready to go. Things are safe before you move, and you have like your practical matters are taken care of. Your money is taken care of, or your goals for money are, very clear for yourself. Your goals for your career are clear. Your goals for health are more clear. You want to make sure that it's just, you have a good insight, you have a good vision, you sort of know where you're going and you're mapping things out and you're laying your plans out, rather than just deciding on a whim, rather than just, making a split second decision to change courses, definite movement, but like this is very slow movement, and some of you might not want to hear that because you want things to change tomorrow, but it's good movement. It's moving forward. It's change is coming. The momentum is there. It's just slower. I mean, the Hanged Man, that's, taking a break, changing your perspective, seeing things a little bit differently before you go. The King of Pentacles, you are grounded. You are practical. You're leading. This is all of you this week. All three readings have like some pretty strong like leadership energy, independent energy. But we are slow moving. The Chariot, they have their foot on the ground right now. We're not zooming yet. And then the Walrus, we don't think of a walrus as a very fast creature. They actually can be kind of speedy, especially when they're in the water, but there's slower energy there, right? And you're kind of going with the flow as well. You don't want to be fighting up against a lot of obstacles. You sort of want to be able to go with the flow so that as you're going along this path slowly, you're able to kind of change up as needed. If there is an obstacle there, if something changes up ahead, you're prepared and you're ready because you've been slow, or because you've taken time out, because you've been practical. You're prepared as you go down your path and things change, you can go around them because you've taken that time and you've kind of mapped things out and you have a broader sense of where you're going, but you're able to go with the flow as well, and you're able to adapt to the changes that are up ahead. So beautiful energy, movement, momentum. It's a good thing. It's just not that fast, and it needs to be slow. Like, you just need to take your time with everything. You need to take your time to gather your thoughts and really assess your perspective of everything before you start zipping along on your little motorcycle there. Okay, so all in all, gorgeous readings for this week. I'm very sorry for if that was distracting you, because it was distracting me. And I hope you all have a beautiful week. I hope everybody is healthy. I hope everybody is safe, especially my friends on the West Coast. I know that it is a very scary time out here. I mean, I'm sitting here. I'm actually in the sun. The reason that we are under a window and everything is because it's so dark in my house, because we're so hazy from the smoke from the West Coast. And I'm in eastern Pennsylvania. I'm in the Philadelphia suburbs. So I can't imagine what it's like for you guys out there, and I'm saying a lot of prayers for you. I'm sending everybody all of my love and all of my blessings, and I will see you next week. Lots of love. Bye-bye.